On June 23, 1972, the term Title IX originated. In this definition, I look at the impact Title IX has on athletics, but this law goes far beyond. According to the SHE Network, the law says, no person in the United States shall, on the basis of sex, be excluded from participation in, denied the benefits of, or be subjected to discrimination under any education program or activity receiving federal financial assistance, meaning equality in education, sports, and prevention of sexual harassment. Another definition given by Ventura College is Title IX is a landmark federal civil rights that prohibits sex discrimination in education. Title IX is not just about sports. It is a prohibition against sex-based discrimination in education. It addresses discrimination against pregnant and parenting students and women in STEM, science, technology, engineering, and math programs. It also addresses sexual harassment, gender-based discrimination, and sexual violence. Sexual violence includes attempted or completed rape or sexual assault, as well as sexual harassment, stalking, exhibitionism, verbal or physical, sexually based threats or abuse, and intimate partner violence. But in sports, there's three main components existed in Title IX. That includes participation, athletic financial assistance, and treatment in program areas. It is important to know that Title IX does not apply to female students only, but protects anyone from sex-based discrimination. It was signed into law by Richard Nixon and made schools provide equally for both males and females. According to Ventura College, there are 10 things that Title IX covers in athletics. 1, the selection of sports and levels of competition effectively accommodate the interests and abilities of members of both sexes. 2, the provisions of equipment and supplies, the scheduling of games and practice times, travel and per diem allowance, opportunities to receive coaching and academic tutoring, assignment and compensation of coaches and tutors, provisions of locker rooms, practices, and competitive facilities, provisions of medical training facilities and services, provisions of housing and dining facilities and services, and publicity. Title IX states that financial assistance, meaning scholarships, should be proportionate to both male and female athletes. Title IX asserts that athletic budgets do not have to be equal, but must provide equal benefits. Title IX also addresses and prevents gender-based discrimination. In the ways that the Office of Civil Rights has set up 3 ways to establish that a school is living by the law, the school has to achieve one of these 3. First, whether intercollegiate level participation opportunities for male and female students are provided in numbers substantially proportional to enrollment. Second, where members of one sex have been and are underrepresented among intercollegiate athletes, whether the institution can show a history and continuing practice of program expansion which is demonstrably responsive to the developing interests and abilities of the member of that sex. And thirdly, if number 1 or 2 cannot be satisfied, whether it can be demonstrated that the interests and abilities of the members of that sex have been fully and effectively accommodated by the present program. The results of Title IX have benefited women and girls greatly by having more participation opportunities and more equitable facilities for women in athletics. Before this law, women's sports participation was low. 55% of the post-Title IX generation participated in high school sports, compared to the 36% of the pre-Title IX generation. This means before Title IX, about 1 in 27 girls played sports. Today is about 2 in 5. There is still room for improvement, but this is drastically better than before. Also, because of Title IX, more women have received athletic scholarships, which means a greater opportunity for women in higher education that would not have been possible otherwise. In fact, many women Olympic athletes credit Title IX for the opportunity to attend college through athletic scholarships and to participate in sports. But there is still some progress needed to be made for women and girls in athletics. Title IX still falls short of creating gender equality, but some people don't believe that. There is a debate that occurs around Title IX sometimes, which a student at Denison and a member of athletics discussed in her health and exercise sports studies and shared with me. Emma said that her class debated over the effectiveness of Title IX. One side argued that Title IX has made many inroads for equality of girls in sports, while the other says that males face unfair consequences due to number restrictions in sports. So teams such as soccer and tennis, which are sports that don't make a lot of revenue, were being cut so they can comply with Title IX participation rate equality. This side lost, and her class concluded that Title IX is beneficial for women, is not hurt men's numbers in sports. It is important that Title IX exists because it brings interest in women's sports just as much as men's. I believe Emma made great points, but the side about men's sports being cut has its flaws in it. Many times when men's teams are cut, so are women's. My cousin was a Division I athlete at Robert Morris University, and her field hockey program was cut, along with 2 other women's sports teams and 4 men's sports teams. She lost her scholarship, and so she had to find a new school to attend after her sophomore year. She was devastated because the news of transferring to a new school is never easy. They had a previously great season and were preparing to do even better the next, but that chance was gone. Not one gender is more prone to getting cut than another. It can happen to anyone, and the results are devastating, but it is usually based on schools' financial reasoning. This is just one example of many where Title IX has greatly affected women in sports. I believe it has affected my life in an impactful way. I have always enjoyed sports, but wasn't sure if I wanted to play in college. But some older girls I looked up to while in high school had gone on to play college tennis and loved it. These girls influenced my decision to want to be a collegiate athlete. I believe I made the right decision to continue playing sports, and the lessons I've learned from tennis will affect me far beyond the field. It helped me to find success not only on the court, but in the classroom as well by teaching me valuable lessons. Every person deserves this right. In conclusion, Title IX has become a buzzword around women and sports, and these definitions create a dialogue around women's athletics that is important to benefiting women in future endeavors.